So today we are looking at a Boros aggro deck, but for a change this deck is not playing experimental synthesizer. So this is a pretty cool list if you feel like a change from the Boros synthesizer decks, or if you are preparing for if synthesizer gets banned. Okay, so let's take a look at it. This is a Boros aggro deck with some ways of filling our graveyard and gaining some value from that with spells with Flashback. Okay, so I found this deck to be really good, and I would highly recommend anyone give it a try. So basically variations of this list have done pretty well recently. They have 5-0'd some Pauper leagues. So let's take a look at the list. So basically we want to fill the board with aggro creatures and then pump them up with Rally the Peasants, which is 3 mana for an instant. Creatures you control get +2/+0 until end of turn, and then it has Flashback for a cost of 2 generic and 1 red. First up, our 1-drops. So we're running Lunarch Veteran. It's a new-ish creature from Midnight Hunt. It's pretty cool, very similar to Soul Warden. So it's 1 white for a 1/1. It says whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life. But then what makes it really cool is that it has Disturb, so you can cast it from your graveyard transformed for its Disturb cost, which is 1 generic and 1 white. And its Disturbed form is a 1/1 Spirit Cleric with flying that says whenever another creature you control leaves the battlefield, you gain 1 life. And if it would be put into a graveyard from anywhere, exile it instead. So just pretty cool that if this dies, we can get some value by casting it from the graveyard, or if we discard this and put it into our graveyard, because as you'll see, this deck basically tries to get a lot of value from cards with Flashback and cards that we can cast from our graveyard. So for example, we also have Sacred Cat, 1 white for a 1/1 with lifelink, and it has Embalm for a cost of 1 white. So you can exile it from your graveyard to create a token that's a copy of it. Okay, then we're also running Throbbing Inspector. This is one of the best 1-drops in these colors, so of course it's 1 white for a 1/2. When it enters the battlefield, investigate. Then for a bit of ramp, we have Springleaf Drum, 1 mana for an artifact with tap an untapped creature you control, add 1 mana of any color. Okay, then for our 2-drops, we are playing Squadron Hawk, just yet another staple in white. Okay, then let's get to the instants and sorceries. So we're running Lightning Bolt, of course, because why not? Then we also have good old Faithless Looting, which is a very powerful discard effect. 1 red for a sorcery, draw 2 cards, then discard 2 cards, and it has a flashback cost of 3. Then we're also running this card from Strixhaven, which I've found to be really cool. It's Thrilling Discovery, 1 red and 1 white for a sorcery. You gain 2 life, then you may discard 2 cards. If you do, draw 3 cards. So yet another way to discard cards that we want to play from our graveyard and also draw cards in the process. Then we have Battle Screech, 4 mana for a sorcery, create 2 1/1 bird creature tokens with flying. It also has Flashback. Its Flashback cost is tap 3 untapped white creatures you control. And then finally our last spell with Flashback, it's Prismatic Strands, 3 mana for an instant, prevent all damage that sources of the color of your choice would deal this turn, and its Flashback cost is that you simply tap 1 untapped white creature you control. So of course, Prismatic Strands can be really powerful. I mean, Pauper is a format where most creatures are 1 color and most decks are monocolored, so it can be quite a blowout to prevent all damage from the sources of a certain color. And of course, the fact that it has Flashback is good because we have so many discard effects. And then the mana base, pretty simple, 20 lands, 3 Ash Barrens, Boros Garrison, Forgotten Cave, and basics. So as I said, I found this deck to be really powerful. It's a nice change of pace from the synthesizer decks. So it is basically a Boros aggro deck that benefits from powerful draw and discard effects by playing creatures that we can play from the graveyard and powerful instants and sorceries with Flashback. So I'd highly recommend you give it a try. It's definitely a very cool deck. If you have ideas for the deck or other decks I could try, please let me know. As always, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.